Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry, and this is your Wednesday video on Thursday. As I told you on Monday, I would be a day late with Wednesday's video, but here I am, and we are just going to have a day in the she shed doing things here and there. Just kind of a hangout session like we do once in a while. I'm not planning on going anywhere in the car today. I think there's plenty to do right here around me that I don't have to actually get out and show you any other scenery. So I was just sitting down here. It's about noon on Wednesday for me, and I spent some time in the house. This morning I was awakened quite early by workers. We have a building going up on our property, and it was quite the ruckus outside with concrete trucks and whatnot. So I ended up getting up very early. I'm sure there's a nap in my future today. So I did some dusting and vacuuming in the house after breakfast, and some straightening up, and we had been camping. I didn't say that on Monday's video, but we got away for just a few days here while the weather was nice. It's very hot today, very humid. I don't know if it's going to rain or storm later, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And so anyway, I had unpacked a lot of the RV and put some of that stuff away, and just did some house stuff this morning. So it's noonish, and I'm just now getting started on this thing I call work, which is more like play to me. But I sat down here at the sewing machine, and I noticed I had nothing written on the... I usually have a to-do list, and so Monday and Tuesday I was not here. Actually, we got back Tuesday, but it was mid-afternoon, and I had no time in the evening to do anything. So I need to kind of sit down here and plan what I'm going to do. I kind of have it right here. As a matter of fact, I may not write it down today because I kind of know what I'm going to do. There's always 10 things on my list that I want to do, and I usually get 2 or 3 of them done. So one thing I want to do is, I had shown you that I used the acorn glue to do these, and I'm going to go ahead and sew these up, trim them, and iron them out and get them ready. And then I will probably prepare another set of these with the glue and let those sit. And some of you had mentioned, well, you know, you don't have to let the glue sit to dry, you can run the iron over it. Yeah, I am aware of that, but I have so many other things that I want to do that it's just easier for me to just get those ready, go do something else, instead of taking the time to iron those and making it faster. So for me, it's better to just do it that way, and while they're air drying, I can do something else, and then the result is the same. I'll be able to process those, to sew them and clip them and iron them the next time that I'm available. So I still have some, what is it called, bow tie materials here. I think I told you I was going to go ahead and do some duplicates out of this stack and see how much further I can get that down. I need to cut some more of these too, but well, these need to be cut as well. I have to cut my little square off to put on here. I'm really enjoying your all's showings of your bow tie quilts, whether you did it in the past or you're working on it now, or you started with me and yours is already done, which is amazing if you're able to do that. But I'm enjoying those on the Facebook page that you're putting out there. So if any of you are working on your bow ties, even if you just got one block done, why not just go ahead and drop that on the Facebook group? That is Lessons Learned on Facebook, and it's free to everyone out there. It's a public, open group that you can share things on with the rest of the members of the group. So I'm going to go ahead and do these, and then I have another little task I want to do after I do some gluing of these. Well, actually I have multiple tasks I need to do. So I'm just going to do these real quick, and I'll put you down here where you can see what I'm doing along the way, and it'll probably be in time lapse so that this video isn't 4 to 6 hours long, because that's usually how much time I spend in a day on projects in here. So let me get the camera moved down and you can just sew along with me. I feel like I may be one short on these because I have 2 in the block that I made up. This is the berry wreath, and I have 21. I should have 24. So either there's one over there in the project box that I missed, or I need to cut another one. Either way, I'm just going to go with what I have for now. I'll deal with that later. So now I'm going to trim them. Now let's go iron. All done. Okay, so let's get back to gluing. I have piece number 16 here. So these ones are just like the last ones. I have one grunge square on 2 opposite corners. So I'm just going to lay these out here and start gluing my squares on. I should have 24 because I don't think this one is in the test block that I did, or the first block. We'll see here. I just lay them out like this and do my little dab of glue and put the squares on and leave them sit for a while or overnight, depending on if I need the space or not. So this is 1, 2, 3 times 5, that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, so I did use 2 in the block that I made up, and that does mean that I am missing one from that first group that I just did. So I'm just going to take my acorn glue, take the little tip off of it, and I usually run a pin in there to make sure it's clear, and just start with one little dot of glue on the piece that I will be cutting off. So I just do kind of a row at a time. got the air conditioning on, so I don't want to make the glue dry too quickly before I get my square on. One little touch of the finger is all you need to get that to adhere and stay there. Okay, next row. I like to jiggle them around a little bit so they don't get stuck to the table. Alright, so that little task is done for now, at least that part of it. So I'm going to move on to something else, and let me get my face up here where you can see me. If I can, there we go. Okay, so I have a friend who was so kind to send me some long arm rulers that she's no longer using. So I decided to trade something for that, and so I'm going to pick something out of my stash for her, and I kind of know what she likes, so I'm not going to show you what it is because she will probably be watching this video, and I don't want her to see that before it arrives. So let's go make up a package to send to my friend. Okay, got that little package ready. It is tight as a drum. Very full. When I was looking through my stash, I found some Tula Pink fat quarters from the past. Like, pretty distant past. So I'm just going to add those to my Tula bin. And then, also I wanted to show you that I have this many of these done. I think this is 100-ish. And then I did 24 more while I was on our camping trip, which are still in the camper. So I need to go get those and add to this. And then I also have a few partial pieces I could put together. And so I might do that right quick. And then while I want to show you, this is what happens. I drag stuff in the house and it doesn't make it back out here very quick. But I wanted to show you, I got this swatch book of Aurifil. It's pretty cool. I got this at Hancock's of Paducah when I was there the other day. And so it's an Aurifil. Well, if I could show you, if you haven't seen one, if you have one, you know all about this. But there you go. You can see all of your colors. And this is not painted. This is actually thread on there. So I've always wanted one, and they had several available for sale, and they weren't on sale. I've looked at this before on Amazon and different sites to see if I could get it inexpensively, and evidently you cannot. So anyway, this is, I don't know if it has a date on it or not. I'm sure it gets updated ever so often. Who knows? I mean, I bought an old swatch book, but I've always wanted one, so I grabbed it while I was there. So where am I going to put this? I don't know. I'll put it somewhere. And then I had a whole bunch of books, quilting books in the house that I was browsing through. I'm going to put those back in the book bin. And then I had some foundation paper for foundation paper piecing. I have a couple of quilt patterns that I had printed off and some receipts, which I keep all my receipts up here for sewing stuff. Here's where I had printed off some from Fat Quarter Shop and my pattern that I made up, and that's why the books were in the house. So I am going to take a moment and put all this stuff where it goes. Let me set you up where you can maybe see me. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to see me. I'll just be running around here. My book bin is very full. I think I need to purge some books. Maybe I'll put some on eBay. And then these go, I have a binder over here that I can put these in. And the receipts. And the foundation paper. Okay, that took care of that. Oh, I need to put the Tula in the Tula bin. And there's Blue. See Blue? Do you see him? Kind of forgot he was even in here. So let's go inside. Make a label for this. Get it in the mail if the mail hasn't come already. Hopefully not. Get that in, and then I'll go in the camper and get the rest of these. Maybe count them when we get back. And then after that, I also have this quilt to trim, so we might do that. Well, I keep picking these up off the floor. Okay, let's go. Here's my little desk setup in the house that I use when I need a computer for something. So I use Pirate Ship to ship things. Very convenient, and it's the cheapest you can go as far as shipping goes. So try pirateship.com. If you need to mail something, it's the way to go. Our yard desperately needs to be mowed. Maybe tonight. So I'm going to make the little trek down to the mailbox. And it looks like the Amazon guy was just here. And he had to back down the driveway because we've got trucks and campers and stuff every which way. So I'll meet you at the mailbox. A little bit of a hike down here. Worse of a hike back up. So hopefully the mail has not come yet. Please let there be nothing in there. Yay. I made it. Let's go back. I planted these little tiny petunias. I don't think they're called petunias, but they look like petunias. But I love this corally colored one. They look more orange in person. So can't wait for those to get big and full. Have another one right here. And then I did some stuff over here. I still need to plant that little tall thing in the center of that black. And here's what I put in the Talavera pot. Gotta have flowers. This is posted at my front door because, you know, we're so social and everything. But have a nice day. So let's go get that sewing bin. There's a plane going overhead. I'll have to pull the steps down. I'll have to put you down for that. Oh, it's quite hot in here. I thought we had the air on still. So let's see, here's my box. I'm going to pull this out, just take this. Fits real nice down in here, and I've been leaving this wool mat here and this iron because I don't use those anymore inside. So I'm going to show you, there's 24 more blocks and plenty more 2.5-inch squares to start another one or make more. I'm going to go ahead. I probably should leave this. I don't think I need that here. And I may leave this ruler as well. And how about the scissors? I do need this sometimes inside, and the rotary cutter. Yeah, I think I'll leave those in there. Take those back to the shed. And we'll see how many burgundy 16 patches we have. Let's go. Okay, just back from lunch, and I had to change my shirt because I spilled lunch on my shirt. So, wardrobe change. Alright, so last time I was with you, I went and got this bin from the camper, and I need to empty the goodies out of it. And this is my little foldable mat that I keep for travel. I'm going to keep it in here though because sometimes I use it in the house. And then I have my 24 blocks that I finished on the camping trip. And I don't think I have any other pieces of blocks other than these that we just found. So I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and see why these aren't. There might be a reason why they're not together. Like, I think they're all okay to go together though. So let me go ahead over there. That'll be 2 more blocks. So let's do that. Alrighty, you're not going to see all of me, but it doesn't matter. We can kind of get the gist of what's going on here. So these always have to start with a print block. So if I put that one to that one, everything will be okay. Let me go ahead and put that together. Need to turn my iron on too, because I'm going to want to press those. And then when I get done, we can count and see how many I have. I bet I have plenty to make a good size quilt. Let's see here. This one looks okay too. So I'll put those together and we'll have us 2 more blocks. Okay, I'm going to press these 2 seams and I'll meet you back over at the cutting table to see how many we have. Alrighty, so I'm going to stack these in stacks of 10 and run through these really quickly in time lapse, and I'll tell you at the end how many there are. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 7. I have 147. Wow. Let me calculate up how big of a quilt I can make with that. Okay, so these will be 8-inch blocks finished. So 144 blocks, which I have 3 more than that, would make a 72 by 72 quilt. I want it to be bigger than that. So I'm going to keep going. I still have quite a bit of this. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3.5 yards of this still. So I think I'm going to keep going with my squares that I have here and see if I can't get it bigger than that. I'm going to do some more math and figure out exactly how big do I want it and how many more squares do I need, instead of just counting every single time. So that's that. So I'm going to put this away for now in there, and I will get back to this someday. I just continually work on it from time to time. Not a time sensitive project. I think I'll leave these in the tins that I have them. That way I don't have to. I'll just turn one the other catty cornered to it. And that way I don't have to count every time. I think I had them that way at one time, but they twisted back around or something. So I'm going to put this away, and then we're going to get on to something else. Okay, now I think I'm going to get the bird quilt out and trim off the edges. I just took this off the long arm, and I am going to trim off the excess from the edges. And you can watch me do that. This is the softest quilt. I don't know what makes it soft. I don't know. I don't know if it's because it has heavy quilting on it, or if it's because of the fabric. I don't know. It just feels so soft. I'm going to use the edge of one of my hexagons as a point of reference on this ruler. It's right at the 4-inch mark. And hopefully that'll hold true all the way up through there for a pretty straight edge. It's just a little bit into my border that I put on there. But the basting stitching from long arming is about an 1/8 inch away if I do that. So that's a good thing. Because that way the binding will catch it and I won't have to pull it out. My bow ties are falling off the wall. Alright, here we go. We have it trimmed. Yay. Look at this quilting. I love it. I'll show you this again on Finish It Friday, which is tomorrow for you. I guess it's tomorrow for me too, isn't it? No, today's Wednesday for me. But it is tomorrow for you. Something like that. I don't know. You know, when I go camping, sometimes I just lose all my sense of time. So, I need to calculate for binding on this. I'm certain that I did not pre-cut any binding that's hidden somewhere. And I'm trying to get better about that. I've got those nice Lori Holt binding holders, and I'm using those when I make binding because they're nice and big and they're not going to be missed in amongst my quilt tops. I put them with my quilt tops in the cabinet by the long arm, so as I pull a quilt top out, the binding will fall out too. So I need to measure how much binding I need for this. So it's going to be that is a yard. So I need 2 yards. I need 4 yards plus to be able to put it together and make the corners and all that good stuff. So probably 5 yards. 5 yard strips. Question is, what should I do this in? I don't have any of these fabrics. Only this blue do I have. I do have, this is the backing. Some of the backing was of the blue and some of it was of this. It's pieced. I don't think I have enough of this, but there is some that I cut off in the house from the length of the backing. So I might ought to go check that and see, but will that look very good? Let me pull this off here and see if I can get an idea. No, that's not gonna work. See if I even like this for the binding. I think it would be okay. Kind of earthy. Not bad. I kind of like it. It won't be that close up. It'll be, let me show you a corner. It'll be like this. Like this. Something like this. It has birds on it. I don't know. It's either blue, this blue, or this. I think this might look good. It doesn't take over. You know, it doesn't. It's not a stark black frame, and it's not a stark white frame. So I think that might be what I need. Let me go in the house and get the rest of this and see how much I have. Okay, so I have, excuse me, the strip right here, which is, it's about 6 inches wide. And I have 2 yards and a third of a length. It is pieced. Doesn't matter. So I can get 2 lengths of this. So that's 4 yards and a half. And then I have this, which would probably be, let's see here. Oh yeah. That's 1 yard and a quarter. A little bit less. 1 yard and a quarter. And I can get 2 out of this. 2 widths, I believe. Yeah, it's almost 6. I think it's that all the way down. Let me see. That one's just barely over 5, but as long as I have 5. So I will be able to use up almost all of my scrap to make my binding, and then I won't have any scraps of this other than just little bitty, maybe a few little things. And then I have this much of this in scrap that I need to process. Have a little bit here. Oh, and here's another. Oh, look. Here's another piece. So I'll have some scraps, but not a ton. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these into 2.5 inch strips like I like to do for binding. Get those sewn together, and those will be ready to go on this quilt. So I won't bore you with that. I will just do that off camera and show you when I'm done. Ta-da! Binding. I have a feeling this is going to get put on either this evening or tomorrow. One of the two. Either way, you'll have a finished quilt to look at on Finish It Friday. Yay! Okay, so I have an outside appointment here in a little bit. This evening actually, but I should be back in time to do a little more sewing if I feel like it. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the video here for you for Wednesday, and I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today. I loved having you with me. It was fun to film and kind of pretend that you were here with me, so I hope you had a similar experience, even though my day was much longer than this video that you're watching. So anyway, that's what I have for you, and I'm glad you were here. And I will see you guys back here on Finish It Friday, where you can see what I've got finished and what you've got finished. Thank you for sending in your photos of your finished items. Got some cool things to show you on Friday. And after that, we'll be back around to Monday Quilt Chat on the right day. I won't be filming it on Friday like I did this week. I will film it on Sunday evening as usual. So there'll be more that has happened, or more things that came to my mind, what have you. And I really want to get back to my bow ties either tonight or tomorrow as well. So I have more of those to show you. All right, that's it, and we'll see you soon.